Hey guys, welcome. Welcome aboard. If you're brand new, welcome back. If you're not, welcome home, if that lands for you. As always, completely and totally dependent on where you happen to be in relation to this channel, these messages, and this week, which happens to be the 26th of June through the 2nd of July, 2023. Let's get right in. So on Monday, the 26th of June, we start with a Libra moon that squares the Cancer sun early in the morning. Mars in Leo squares Uranus. And then that Libra moon goes back to quincunx, both Saturn in retrograde now, and Jupiter. And then Mercury in Gemini. Quincunx is Pluto in retrograde in Capricorn. And then Mercury moves into Cancer. So self and relationship, right, might feel at odds. The way you are to you and the way you are to others. And that is always, of course, from an internal perspective, right? Because we can only have conversations about ourselves, never really about who we represent to others, because we don't know that. So resist any and all urge to move impulsively on Monday. This is really important, by the way. Energies are really accident prone on Monday. So be very, very, almost overly so cautious, right? Regardless of whether you're moving with yourself or moving in the world, it doesn't really matter. And reel your capacity to spiral all the way back in today, right? And this includes your mental and emotional states as well. So be really mindful, especially if you're obsessive or destructive or compulsive patterns, right? Just be mindful. On Tuesday, the Libra moon will sextile Venus, will oppose Chiron, quincunx Uranus, sextile Mars, and quincunx Neptune. So it's a busy day for the moon. So even when you know what home feels like, right? And when we talk about home, we are talking about the sensual experience of home. What home feels like, what it looks like, what it tastes like, what it smells like, what it sounds like to and only to you, right? It cannot be anyone else's version. It cannot be prescribed to you. Only you know what the resonance of home is for your own soul. So even when we know what home feels like, right, it can very occasionally be challenging to bring ourselves to claim that. So focus on your sensual experience, right? If you're not sure or if you're not clear what home is for you, focus on your experience, right? You'll know it when you know it. On Tuesday, very much so also resist the old stories, right? Instead, revel in that new story. Revel in your current and present experience, right? Allow any necessary changes, and there might be some big shifts, and let that be okay, right? Focus on allowing the necessary changes. And here's the deal. See what is and allow that allow it to shape you, right? Allow it to be where you choose to respond. See what is and allow that to be, right, for you. Wow, all right. On Wednesday, the 28th, that Libra moon is going to square Pluto in retrograde, of course. And then the moon moves into Scorpio before 4 a.m. Central Time. After that, the Scorpio moon will trine both Mercury the sun, well, how about will trine Mercury, the sun, and Saturn, and then oppose Jupiter. And then in the evening, the sun in Cancer trines Saturn. So it's a very intense day. Wednesday is an intense day. That moon square Pluto in Scorpio, right? Definitely makes big doings of our feelings, right? And if you're willing to experience them rather than to wield your feelings, if that makes sense, right? And what I mean by that is if you're willing to experience your feelings as opposed to utilizing them against yourself or anything else, right? If you're willing to allow them to be your guides rather than your captors, you can put that underlying energy to work in your favor, especially when it comes to creating habits and routines, when it comes to creating the structures of your new story, right? It's a powerful day. It's an intense day. So that's one of those use your powers for good kind of days on Wednesday. On Thursday, the 29th, Venus in Leo trines Chiron. And not long after that, that Scorpio moon is going to quincunx Chiron. 1-2 punch, right? And then the moon will square Venus, of course. 1, 2, 3, and then oppose Uranus, and we end the day with a square to Mars in Leo. So kind of a deepening and widening of that solidification of whatever you're willing to lean into. So don't be surprised by surprises or shocked by any shocks that may come, right, with that moon in opposition to Uranus. Just be aware, and don't forget how you choose to respond, right? And keep in mind that a response, a chosen response, is simply a healed reaction, right? So whether you are in reaction or not, whether another human is witnessed as being in reaction or not, that's simply a place where something is not healed. So if you know people that are reactive, or if you yourself are reactive, lead with compassion there, because that is simply a place that needs healing, right? So again, how you choose to respond is up to you. And mind your capacities, right? Where you're in reaction is just a place where you need to claim and accept the fact that you need to heal something. There's nothing wrong with that, right? We're all on our journeys. We're all in process. We're all just looking for that flashlight to shine on something, right? Yes. Oh, I see that. Please let me heal it, right? Hallelujah. Let's get to work. So just be mindful of that. And as always, lead with compassion, right? Understanding that someone needs healing doesn't mean you have to condone or even stick around for their behavior. But it does mean that the way you approach that, whether from a state of witness or claiming, depending on whether that's you or someone else, absolutely has everything to do with how you walk your journey, right? Just a fact. On Friday, the 30th, Mercury in Cancer trines Saturn. The moon, still in Scorpio, trines Neptune, and then sextiles Pluto. At about 10 o'clock in the morning Central Time, the moon moves into Sagittarius. And at 4:07 p.m. Central Time, Neptune moves retrograde at 27 degrees, right? And Neptune will move in retrograde till the 6th of December, backing up to 24 Pisces, right? So, a little cha-cha-cha. And then that Sagittarius moon is going to square Saturn to end the day. So here's the deal. New stories equal the new you, right? Fascinating. So express yourself as your leveled up version. Yeah, it's very simple. Express yourself as your leveled up version. We've not shuffled, we shall not take that. So some Dreamtime insights might prove revelatory. So here's the deal. Find those insights. Find those insights. They might be really, really useful later. And they may echo much longer and much louder than you expect, right? Neptune moving into retrograde is really going to bring some opportunities for clarity. Never wonder, always ask, right? Never wonder, always ask. Especially if the clarity is between you and someone else. And remember that what you do with that clarity is always up to you, right? How you approach that clarity is always up to you. So clarity is precious, right? Constantly seeking clarity is it's a real life skill. So how you choose clarity without judgment is also very much up to you. So choose wisely. Saturday, the 1st of July, very busy day. The sun in Cancer will conjunct Mercury, right? 6 minutes into the day. The Sag moon will quincunx the sun, Mercury, and Jupiter. And then Mercury will sextile Jupiter, and the sun will sextile Jupiter. How exciting. The Sag moon trines Chiron and Venus, and then quincunxes Uranus to end out the day. So it's a study in pendulum swings, right? So if you can breathe through the early challenges, early tensions, early perhaps miscommunications, staticky connections early in the day, and any kind of like stepping on toes energy, right? Whether that's literal or figurative, right? Whether it's perceived or actual, doesn't really matter. Feel into your cosmic spaciousness, right? Find something new and something exciting, a brand new way to weave that higher level of excitement. And weave it into the things that you're doing, right? Not just today, but every day. Considering that passion is a way to lean in, and that passion is healing, right? When you find something that is inspiring, that activates your heart or your soul, you're healing yourself, right? You're leaning in somewhere instead of leaning out or pushing away. And that's always healing. So express it, be it, move as it, right? And know that simply that passion is an amplifier. On Sunday, the Sagittarius moon trines Mars, squares retrograding Neptune, and then Venus will square Uranus. And then the moon moves into Capricorn and then squares Saturn to end the day. Sextile Saturn to end the day. So clarity is always preferred, right? But how you feel about that might vary. Clarity is preferred, but how you feel about it may vary. So immersion is always a little rough in the beginning, right? And remember, wonder if that's really air that you're breathing, right? As this new Neptune retrograde energy, this new clarity comes around, don't be afraid to question everything, right? Don't be afraid to be open to shifts in your perception and be really conscious when it comes to choosing what you're going to build your perceptions upon, right? Always understanding that your perceptions might be inaccurate, might be skewed based on your areas of intake, your own influence, your experiences, right? Be willing to shift your perceptions as new information comes in, right? The key to learning. So let's talk. So on Monday, we have the Eight of Cups and the Magician. So we talked about how your relationship with yourself or any other relationships in your life might feel at odds. And definitely resisting the urge to move impulsively, right? So the Eight of Cups is moving away from something that is untenable, unpleasant, that's not bringing you bliss or contentment or satisfaction. And the Magician says, well, okay, I'm moving away from that. I know what to do in order to create it. Well, guess what you do? But make sure that you're moving deliberately, that you're choosing deliberately, because what you create has to be free of those obsessive or destructive patterns, right? That's what we're moving away from, toward this sense of mastery, right? So don't be afraid to move away from something, but always know your why and your what comes next. We have the Eight of Wands and the Two of Wands, right? So this is balanced forward motion based on a heart-based choice, right? Wands are about motivation. Wands are about inspiration. They're about desire and why you're doing what you're doing, right? So if you know your why, you can back it 100%. So even though we know what home feels like, it can be challenging, right? So we kind of had a conversation to resist any old stories, right? So we're choosing the new story, not the old story. We can leave this in the past, right? We don't need it. Instead, we're going to revel in the new stories and allow those changes, right? Allow those changes to become what we do next. Right? It's where you put your whole heart and whole soul. So here we have that Eight of Cups. I'm moving away from something towards something else. On Wednesday, this is a really interesting pairing. So the Five of Cups and the Sun. The Five of Cups is, what am I focused on right now? Am I focused on the past? Or am I moving toward the future, right? And if we look, that future has those two full cups, right, behind us that we're not looking at. So are we focused on something in the past that did not bring us joy, or that hurt our feelings, or that made us feel a certain kind of way? And yet our refusal to look at what is being offered is preventing us from creating in our highest and best. So we talked about this as being a day of intense feelings, right? And choosing the experience as opposed to being held captive by our feelings, right? To really indulge our energy in our favor and create some new habits that are going to be the structure of our new story. The world is exactly as bright as we choose to view it. So if we're minding our viewpoint and our capacities and refusing to look backward and downward, there are new places we can go, right? On Thursday, the Six of Cups and the Four of Wands. What beautiful cards, right? So the Six of Wands, or the Six of Cups, is a card of unconditional love, right? This is that place where our heart is super open. This is that love like you've never been hurt, right? Card. And then we have the Four of Wands, which is, it's the 1111 card. It's a lot of people would say it's the soulmate card. It is the card of shared bliss, shared joy, shared contentment, right? And so we're talking about a solidification of what you're willing to lean into, and really choosing our response as that healed reaction. So if you can lean back into this response, right? If you can lead with compassion, which is exactly what we talked about when we talked about the astrology of this day. If you can lean back into that, that choosing your response as a healed option allows you to create that next level for your own life. So this is that why you do your work, right? This is how we up-level our capacity and choose where we're willing to lean in, where we're willing to learn. And that's really all it takes, right? You don't have to be fully healed. You just have to be willing to say, oh, I see that. Okay, let me respond in a different way. Let me choose. Even if you've flown off the coop in a reactive moment, you can reel it back. You can always reel it back. It just takes presence and awareness, right? And a decision. Okay. On Friday the 30th, we have the Lovers and the Three of Swords. Okay, so let's start here. Three of Swords, this is our perception of loss, heartbreak, betrayal, right? And it's swords, so it's always us-centric, right? This is our perception of a loss, of a heartbreak, of something that broke our heart, right? And so if we're going to talk about expressing ourselves as our leveled up version, and really making use of our dream time. I love this as a dream time, right? The Lovers is that opportunity for divine relationship. And you can have a divine relationship with anyone. It doesn't have to be an intimate relationship, right? You can have an up-leveled relationship with the mailman down that, you can have an up-leveled relationship with a clerk in a store, because it's how you interact. And so as we're talking about Neptune looking to bring us opportunities for clarity, never wonder, always ask, right? The Three of Swords is built on our assumptions, on our expectations, on our perception, on our belief. And so clarity is built when we refuse to accept our own perception as truth. Clarity is built when we learn to engage in relationship and ask. So as we work through this Neptune retrograde energy all the way through December, guys, in Pisces, which allows for that open-heartedness, that depth of feeling, never wonder, always ask. Make this your guiding mantra, and see if you can't heal some of your perhaps perceived pain, or your perceived anything, right? Never wonder, always ask. On Saturday the 1st, we have Strength and the Ace of Pentacles. What a lovely pairing, right? So we talk about this as a day where we're talking about pendulum swings, right? And feeling into our passions. So here's the deal. Strength is about taming your inner beasts. And I am air quoting all of those words. It's just about doing your work, right? It's about having the strength to face those places where you have to breathe through something, having the strength to face those moments in your past, having the strength to face your patterns, your cycles, your accepted beliefs, right? And say, oh, I've been told this my whole life. Is it actually true for me? I've been told, I've been handed this limitation, and I've been carrying it around my whole life. Is this true for me? I am expressing as this thing. Is this true for me? Right? And so aces are that offering from the universe. And what we are required to do to engage with this energy is to say, yes, thank you, and then to put it into action. So the Ace of Pentacles is a new opportunity, right? It's something solid. And so pentacles, right, simply are not always about earth-based energy, right? It's not about what you can tangibly touch. Sometimes pentacles is about intangible things, right? Value and value, worth and worth, right? So as you feel into that passion, as you feel into your own strength and the ways that you're willing to interact with things that may have been triggers, you're being offered in that same instant, in that same breath, a brand new way to witness it. And so how you choose to find the excitement and the opportunity as opposed to the anchor, right, really is up to you. On Sunday, we've got the Five of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. So listen up. Five of Pentacles is how you believe you've been left out in the cold, right? This is how you perceive that someone is holding out resources from you, right? This is an acceptance of scarcity mindset, right? This is walking away from something where you feel like you've been left out, where someone took something from you. And this is a perception. The Knight of Pentacles says, no, just keep going, right? Just keep going. You have enough. You have enough, right? So we talked about this as a day when immersion can feel a little bit rough in the beginning, right? Because we have that Neptune in retrograde right now. So being open to shifts in your perception can change your consciousness. And really understanding that your perception might be incorrect, right? How many times in your life have you had that moment where you thought something was taken from you, or thought you were missing something, or you didn't get exactly what you wanted, but a little bit down the road you had the perspective to look at it in a different way and say, oh, right, I didn't think I had that thing, but then I did, right? Whether that's an internal strength issue, whether it's an external resource issue, we can always find the way, or the universe always provides it. Should we be persistent enough? Should we have the strength and stamina to keep going, right? The universe rewards that every single time. And if you don't believe that yet, keep going and see what happens. Mind your mind. So here's the deal. This goes right along with change your mind, change your life. So what we're learning to do right now is seeking our own clarity and witnessing the fact that our perceptions create our realities. And if we're creating our reality, we have only to mind our mind, right? In order to change our reality. We have this lovely oracle card, Whale Song, resonating, right? Let's see what it has to say. I love that we have this watery card as we have this beautiful Neptune retrograde, right? This is remembering, harmonizing, and resonating. There are moments in life when you have a sense of deja vu, that you visited this place, these feelings, this person before, and yet you know that a new opportunity to dance has come around again, right? There's a haunting quality to this, a melancholy, as life's mysterious fragility is also underlined. Like a whale song that pleads for its simple notes to be matched by another, you have a short time to capture this essence and let it resonate in a way that is potentially transformative, but only if you don't turn away, right? Sometimes you may forget the moments of your humanity, your truest desires, because you've become so earthbound and calculating, striving and doing. You're so overstimulated by the chase, right? And what you're exposed to that you forget your heart. Oh, yeah, guys, really, come on, this is beautiful. Now it's time to jump in the water and play and be reminded of your creative self, of your collaborative impulse to sing along, seeking harmony, beauty, purpose, and meaning. At this moment, that is your exact invitation. You'll achieve more than the plans you set in motion if you use this opportunity to explore, to be curious, and to take a much-needed break from what your mind thinks it needs and accomplish. Your heart is calling. Answer it, right? Everywhere we've got this invitation to the heart in every single pairing. Plus, we've got a whole bunch of majors here. So just keep swimming, right? Just keep swimming, guys. You've got it. Really get in deep with this Neptune retrograde. Really get in deep with this never wonder, always ask. Your own personal clarity is the key here. So just be in it, right? Be in it. Let it wash over and through you, since it's all you to begin with. Yeah. Big, giant blessings, guys.